Imagine a forest where the trees whisper secrets, where silence itself feels heavy with fear. This is Aokigahara, the suicide forest. One of the most haunted places on Earth, hidden in the shadows of Japan's Mount Fuji. Aokigahara has become infamous for its tragic history, but there's more to this forest than meets the eye. Some say it's a place of lost souls, and those who venture too deep might never come back. Three friends, Sarah, Mark, and David, decided to take on the challenge of Aokigahara. They'd heard the rumors, of course, but they were looking for an adventure, not a warning. As they entered the dense woods, the silence hit them first. No birds, no rustling leaves, just an eerie stillness, like the forest was holding its breath. They pushed on, laughing nervously, trying to shake off the strange feeling creeping up on them. But as they moved deeper, the forest seemed to close in around them. The trees grew thicker, their shadows darker, and the path began to twist in ways that didn't feel right. As they ventured further, something caught Sarah's eye. Old ropes tied to trees. At first, she thought it was just a coincidence. Maybe someone had been camping here. But the ropes were too old, frayed from years of exposure. Something didn't sit right. It was as though the forest itself was marking its territory, leaving behind signs of those who'd entered before them and never left. "This place is weird," Sarah said, her voice trembling. Mark shrugged, trying to dismiss the fear. But David, he couldn't shake the feeling they were being watched. The air grew colder, the silence deeper. And then they heard it. Footsteps, soft but unmistakable, following them, step for step. But when they turned around, there was nothing. No one behind them. Just the endless sea of trees. Mark tried to convince everyone it was nothing. But Sarah couldn't ignore the chill running down her spine. "We need to get out of here," she said, her voice barely a whisper. Still, they pressed on, thinking it was just their nerves getting the best of them. But with every step, the feeling of being followed only grew stronger. And that's when they saw it. In the distance, standing still between the trees, a figure, a woman. Her white dress seemed to glow in the dim light, her long hair flowing like a river of shadows. But her eyes were empty, hollow, unblinking. Sarah froze. Mark tried to laugh it off, but the air had changed. He could feel it too. The woman stood perfectly still, watching them, and it felt like she could see into their souls. For a moment, no one moved. Then, just as quickly as she appeared, she was gone, vanished into the trees. Fear hit them like a wave. They turned to run, but the path had changed. What was once a clear trail now twisted, turned, and seemed to stretch on forever. The forest had become a maze, and they were trapped in it. Then, Mark stumbled. He fell to the ground, his eyes locking onto something that made his heart stop. A rope, hanging from a tree, tied into a noose. He tried to crawl away, but the whispers were all around them, closing in. Sarah and David screamed for him, but he couldn't move. It was like something was pulling him toward the rope. Before they could reach him, Mark was gone. The ropes around his neck seemed to pull tighter, as if the forest had claimed him. Sarah and David could only watch in horror as their friend was swallowed by the darkness. The whispers continued, calling to them, urging them to stay. Only Sarah and David made it out. But they were never the same. The whispers followed them. The darkness never let go. They left Aokigahara, but Aokigahara never left them. Some say the forest is alive, waiting, watching, and calling to those who wander too far. But one thing is certain. Aokigahara doesn't let go. It keeps a piece of those who enter, forever trapped within its trees. What do you think? Could Aokigahara really be alive? Or is it simply the stories of those who couldn't escape? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever heard whispers in the woods? Or perhaps you've ventured into a forest that's more than it seems? Let us know. And if you enjoyed this terrifying tale, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories from the dark corners of the world. Until next time, stay safe and tread carefully on the paths you choose.